Hi, it's another Friday and you're welcome to the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwao. This is the show that helps you get ready for another exciting match week of the Premier League, which of course is live on Citi 97.3 FM on radio. Many thanks for joining us. You can send in your thoughts and comments on the WhatsApp number on your screen and we'll gladly go through all your comments before the show comes to an end. It's a very exciting weekend. We have a potential title decider on our hands at Anfield. We'll discuss that a little later, plus other exciting games. All of that happening in another match week of the Premier League. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce my guests and we get the show off the ground. This is the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. Before I introduce my guests, we have a road show on our hands this weekend. It's the fourth one of the season. And of course, it's Super Sunday, if you want to call it that. Villa versus Spurs, or Spurs versus Villa, let me put it that way. Exciting game. Two teams trying to break into the top four. And of course, it doesn't get any bigger than this. It is Liverpool at home at Anfield versus Manchester City. One team hoping to win the league, the other team hoping to defend the league. And it's the last league clash we'll see in England between Pep Guardiola and his friend or rival, if you want, Jurgen Klopp, of Liverpool, taking on Pep Guardiola. So the last Klopp versus Pep league encounter will be happening this Sunday. Of course, Klopp is leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. So that's why I call it the last one we'll be seeing in England in a while. So that's the lowdown. We have a road show. We had the +233 Jazz Bar and Grill this Sunday. It will be fun. It will be great. It will be exciting. Join us as we enjoy our Sunday with some great football. Spurs and Villa and Liverpool versus Manchester City. Let me welcome my guys. Kelvin, Kelvin, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
All right, and Sydney Antonio is also here. Sydney?
Great to be here.
All righty. Let's have a look at the fixtures for match week 28. Can you imagine, match week 28, 10 more rounds for the league to come to an end. So teams who are trying to figure themselves out should start finalizing things now or else it will be too late to save themselves. Let's have a look at the fixtures for match week 28. There you have them. Man United and Everton started off at Old Trafford Saturday afternoon. Bournemouth and Sheffield, Palace and Luton, Wolves and Fulham, and then Arsenal and Brentford. And I'm sure Villa and Spurs and Liverpool and Man City will also keep an eye on that game on Saturday as they play on Sunday. Sorry. And Spurs and Villa, or Villa versus Spurs at Villa Park starts us off on Sunday. Brighton and Nottingham Forest, West Ham and Burnley, and of course the big one is Liverpool versus Manchester City at Anfield on Sunday at 3:45. And then the match week rounds up with Chelsea versus Newcastle at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea going through their own motions there, hoping that it will work against Newcastle. Guys, thank you so much for joining us once again. Before we even get into anything, I like to do my pop quiz, right? So can anybody tell me the reverse score lines in any of the games on our schedule today?
Chelsea Newcastle. That game was, I think, 4-1 at St. James's Park, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. United Everton was 3-0. I think that's the game Garnacho scored the overhead kick. Very good. Crystal Palace Luton. I think that should have been a 2-1 Luton win, if I'm not mistaken. That should have been Luton's first home win. Okay. If I'm not mistaken.
No, I can't seem to remember that, but I'll check.
Yeah, I think that's about as far. I remember Kudus assisted in the Burnley fixture. I think a Sushe goal, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's about all I can remember off the top of my head.
What scorelines do you remember from the reverse game?
To add to that, the Arsenal winning 1-0 at the GTech Community Stadium.
Yeah, that was the game Havertz headed in that last minute goal. Yeah.
And I remember Villa beating Spurs 2-1 at Spurs home ground, and obviously Liverpool once it was a 1-1 draw at Etihad. And on top of what has already been mentioned. So I think
so. Those are the reverse corners. If you remember, we had a roadshow that weekend.
Yeah, we did.
We are Spintex that weekend. All right, guys, let's start off. Let's have a look at our first game on our run around. It's Manchester United versus Everton at Old Trafford, Manchester United versus Everton at Old Trafford. This game in years past has produced some very interesting scorelines, close ones, very exciting ones, wide ones, everything in between. Let's see Manchester United's last league performance. If you're a United fan, sorry to remind you, but we have to go back to the Manchester derby for Man United's last league performance. All right, so Manchester United losing at Manchester City. This was the last time they played in the league last weekend. They are hoping to return to good fortune when they take on Everton this weekend. So let me start off with you. It's been a very tough season for Manchester United. They lost the derby. Some people say expected. But they will have to respond now against Everton. Everton themselves are scrapping for points. So United, I'm sure they know what they're up against.
Yeah. Nathan, before I go, and I thought I was coming for a Premier League preview, but I've put me to torture chamber. I mean, the torture chamber to watch what's happening. But yeah, I mean, by all accounts, very disappointing showing last time around. We all knew how it was going to go. I mean, sometimes you know your fate, but it's the process. I mean, you know this is the end of it, but how to get there is the issue. And well, I was hoping against all hope that United would have sprung a surprise, at least surprise me small. You have been going true to form. Also, they surprised me a bit, but they couldn't do that. They lost quite miserably. I mean, 3-1, I think, flattered United. Although you can say that there were some questionable decisions from the referee. I think there was a red card incident and last man incident, all that. But all things considered, well beaten by City, and they have to bounce back. It doesn't get worse than losing so miserably against your greatest, I won't say greatest, but your City rivals, and they're coming against an Everton team who are not doing well. I mean, they had the 10 points, they got some back, so I think that's a 6-point deduction, and they have been struggling. They have been fighting since the points reduction to find their way up, but it's not gone as the Evertonians would have wished. And this is a chance for United playing at home. Well, at first you'd have said playing at home is a foregone conclusion, but now you can't even say that, because even the home performances are not even that strong any longer. So I mean, it's a chance for United to come back to winning ways, but it's a chance for Everton as well, because they know that this is a United team that can be got at, a team devoid of, I would say, some character, and a team which is missing very key figures. The defense is looking very ramshackled. The midfield, as you saw, Amrabat giving the ball away, that is not looking strong. And up top, Højlund is missing. Rashford might make the bench. He might not even start. And even if he was playing, I mean, we don't know what we're going to expect from him anyway. So it's not looking good at all. And Erik ten Hag will be hoping that some of his more trusted lieutenants, the likes of Bruno Fernandes, the likes of Kobbie Mainoo, who has been a revelation this season, and thinking of it, an 18-year-old or 17-year-old who had only had one senior appearance before the season, is now the shining light in the midfield. That just goes to show you, playing against his uncles like Casemiro and Bruno, he is showing that he has the temerity, he has the confidence, he has what it takes to be a United player. So he'll be looking at some of these players doing their best. And historically, United Everton at Old Trafford has almost always been a foregone conclusion. I mean, United have been winning this game. Some of them have been a bit dicey, and I remember the 4-4 that cost United the title in 2012. But apart from that, most of them have been going United's way. There have been a couple of I think it's a 3-3 draw in there, 2-2 draw, but most often than not, United have been getting the better of Everton. And looking at what United need to do now, they are about 11 points from 4th place, and that is where I believe Ineos would have given Erik ten Hag, at least if you can't do anything, let's get us the top 4, because we want to build, we want to remain attractive to players. So at least get us the top 4, and winning against Everton will be the first step in trying to haul Aston Villa back. Yeah.
Especially as Villa take on Spurs.
Exactly.
You never know. Kelvin, Sydney talked about Everton, the need to fight hard and scrap and get points. If that will be possible, what should they do at Old Trafford, knowing that Man United themselves are hoping to get 3 points?
They can look at what Fulham did when Fulham went to Old Trafford. United haven't been particularly great at Old Trafford in their last few games. If you take their sample size of their last 5 games, they've been picking up more points away than at home. So for that, Everton should look at that and see that, okay, we are not going to a place where it's almost impossible to win.
Okay.
Like historically in the last few games, United haven't been at their best at their home ground. So they should look at it as a game that they can get something off, try to stay as much as they can in the game for as long as they can, because the moment they start conceding early, they'll be up against the Old Trafford crowd. So Everton should just go there, be very, very simple in the things they do, be direct when they get the chance, and try and get something out of the game. The point deduction being reduced to 6 points will be a boost for them. It takes them just above the relegation zone. So points that they'll get at this point in the season, is left with 10 games to the end of the season, will be very essential to them staying, because I'm not sure they want to get plunged back into the bottom three. So I feel like they should just go there knowing that if they play a right game, they can get something out of the game as United.
Okay, all right. We'll see how it plays out. Manchester United hosting Everton. It's the first game of the match weekend, Saturday afternoon, 12:30 p.m. at Old Trafford. You know what they say about the early kickoff, so yeah, you can look at it anyway. Anyway, you want. All right, let's move on to the next game. It's happening in London, North London versus West London. Arsenal taking on Brentford at the Emirates. It's been a wonderful time for Arsenal in 2024, looking really, really good in the league, hoping to keep pressure on Manchester City and Liverpool. Let's see highlights from Arsenal's last game, and it was a very, very easy encounter at Sheffield United. All right, so Arsenal beating Sheffield United by 6-0. That was the last time Arsenal played in the league a few days ago. Sydney, let me start off with you. It's been a wonderful time for Arsenal. 2024 has been a very good year for them. They would want to continue, especially knowing that Liverpool and City meet on Sunday, and there's a possibility that one side can drop points or they all drop points, and that allows Arsenal. How much that expectation possibly on Sunday, do you think it may weigh on Arsenal as they play 24 hours ahead of both Liverpool and Man City?
If you had to ask me this last season or 2008-2009, I've said yes, but Arsenal are looking like a different beast this season. Like they've taken their game a notch higher. They're looking so much more dangerous. They're looking so much more compact, more settled. And this is a game where I think it's a foregone conclusion. I don't think Brentford stand a chance in this game, because Brentford themselves have been looking good. Or they did scrape the 2-2 draw with Chelsea last week, but you know Chelsea and their travails and everything this season. So, and I think Brentford, their away games, they have won, I think, one in the last 15 or last 10 or so, and that one was, I think, against Wolves or so. So they're not looking good away from home. They're not looking, although they did get a 2-0 win away from home at Chelsea, but you know, Chelsea is being Chelsea. But they are not looking good away from home, and I fully expect Arsenal looking good, and they have the European fixtures to come as well. So they're looking to use this game to get a few things right, because they have a tough one coming up against Porto. So they have to get some stuff right, and the confidence that would take them into that fixture, they need to get to build it from now. I mean, they're not short of confidence. Okay. Winning 6-0, 5-0, 4-0, 6-0. I mean, it's been cricket scores for the past 4 or 5 games for Arsenal, and I think this game could be a cricket score as well, because as I said, Brentford are looking sharp. Tony, since coming in, he did do well. He got a goal, he got some assists, but for the past couple of games, I watched the West Ham Brentford. They lost 4-2. Tony was virtually lost in the game against Chelsea. We're not really seeing him to be what he can be. So it looks as if he's dipping in form there. And at this crucial point in the season, where Brentford they do need points, they need their key men like Tony to step up to the plate, and he's not doing it. And in this fixture particularly, you need him to challenge Saliba and Gabriel, who are looking imperious at the moment. So that's the only way they can really get something, if their attacking men are able to press Arsenal back. But I don't think currently, they're looking at both teams' forms. Arsenal are looking so good, Brentford are looking so poor. I don't think they will be able to master that kind of challenge against Arsenal. And Arsenal going for it, I think they could win this game maybe 3-0, 4-0, and to just ease themselves and instill a bit of confidence going in the crucial fixture against Porto. So yeah, I think Arsenal should steamroll this one. Yeah. Okay, all right, Adam, your thoughts from a Brentford perspective. They need to get something out of it. Their position on the league table is not the best. Yeah. But can they? How possible will it be to get a point, or maybe all three at Arsenal?
It's going to be very, very difficult for them going to Arsenal. Arsenal have been in great form both home and away. But the Champions League game they lost against Porto, there haven't been too many games that they've given too many things away. To add to Sydney's points, Arsenal have turned it up a notch this season. I don't remember seeing an Arsenal team that is this ruthless in front of goal like they have been in the last few games. They scored about 30 games in their last 5 games, and like that's very, very impressive. So Brentford are going to have a very difficult. If they are going to get something from Arsenal, they'll have to keep Arsenal out, and that's almost impossible right now with the kind of form Arsenal, and it's going to be very difficult. So my advice to them would just be keep Arsenal out as long as possible, and hope for the best, and hope they take their chances when they get them, because Arsenal are very, very ruthless.
But do Arsenal have any weaknesses Brentford could capitalize, no matter how difficult it may turn out? Do Arsenal have any areas where Brentford can look at?
It's difficult to see that right now because of the way Arsenal are playing. Rice seems to have become completely comfortable in the setup. Even Havertz, who was being complained about at some points in the season, seems to have picked up and is in goal scoring form now. So it's going to be difficult for Brentford to see any part of the Arsenal team they can capitalize. Everything seems to be functioning so well for Arsenal. Brentford, they just have to hope that they catch Arsenal on an off-color day.
Okay, all right. We'll see how that action plays out as Arsenal take on Brentford at the Emirates on Saturday. Like I said, Arsenal will be very, very happy with the good result because Manchester City will travel to Liverpool on Sunday, and should they neutralize each other, Arsenal, should they get 3 points against Brentford, will move to the top of the table. All right, we'll take a very quick break. This is the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. When we come back, we head into the big one. We talk Liverpool versus Manchester City. We open it up, preview it, and possibly give you some lovely predictions at the end of all of that. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Cole. My guests, Kelvin Kai and Sydney Antonio. Your messages are also coming through on the WhatsApp number on your screen. We'd love to hear from you. So please send us those messages. We'd love to read a lot more of them before we leave the studio. All right, now let's focus on the big one. The big one is Liverpool versus Manchester City at Anfield. Is Klopp versus Pep for the very last time in the league before Klopp goes away, maybe on a sabbatical, you never know. Before some people say he's going to coach the German national team. Some to say he's retired. I don't know, but Klopp is leaving at the end of the season, so he'll take on his good friend and rival Pep Guardiola on Sunday for the last time in the league. Okay, let's see. We've seen Man City's last performance in the league. Let's have a look at Liverpool's last outing in the league. It was away at Nottingham Forest. Welcome back. This is the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Cole. My guests, Kelvin Kai and Sydney Antonio. Your messages are also coming through on the WhatsApp number on your screen. We'd love to hear from you. So please send us those messages. We'd love to read a lot more of them before we leave the studio. All right, now let's focus on the big one. The big one is Liverpool versus Manchester City at Anfield. Is Klopp versus Pep for the very last time in the league before Klopp goes away, maybe on a sabbatical, you never know. Before some people say he's going to coach the German national team. Some to say he's retired. I don't know, but Klopp is leaving at the end of the season, so he'll take on his good friend and rival Pep Guardiola on Sunday for the last time in the league. Okay, let's see. We've seen Man City's last performance in the league. Let's have a look at Liverpool's last outing in the league. It was away at Nottingham Forest. All right, Liverpool winning that game by a goal to nil. Darwin Núñez's deep goal, or deep into extra time. That strike from Darwin Núñez settling the game there. Let's have a look at their season stats, and then we'll see their head-to-head. So first, let's see what their seasons look like from a numerical perspective. All right, 27 games everybody's played. They've both won 19. Both have drawn 6, but Man City have lost one more game. 35 draws, 39. Okay, I think they played 53 games all round. 21 wins for Liverpool, 12 wins for City, 20 draws in between. So very interesting numbers there. For those who are looking at, the head-to-head and wondering, how come Liverpool have more wins? Mm-hmm. Well, I always tell you that Manchester City were not a good side up until like 2009, or if you like 2011, right? So before that, Liverpool used to win some of these games for fun. But yeah, this is the lowdown. Let's see their head-to-head. Okay, the head-to-head I think is on 53 games. 53 games, 21 wins for Liverpool, 12 wins for Man City, 20 draws each. All right, let's hear from the two managers now who share their thoughts ahead of Sunday's encounter. Let's hear from first Jurgen Klopp, who's Liverpool manager, and then Pep Guardiola, who's manager for Manchester City. All right, and Pep Guardiola, very interesting response from him to a question on, okay, so here's the context. Just Alexander-Arnold was granting an interview, and he said that Man City, they've got money,
And winning trophies means more to them than City.
And he says, like Adam said, they at Liverpool, if they win the trophy, it means more to them because they don't have to spend all the money in the world. Everything is A-okay. And you heard Pep's response. He says, Trent should recover. Wow, interesting stuff there. Calvin, let me start off with you. This is a huge one. It has implications on title, top four, How do you think, we've heard the managers, they've kind of giving a lot of props to each other and things. But let's look at it from a Liverpool perspective, then we'll talk about Pep. If you were Jurgen Klopp, last week you got yourself a 1-0 win at Nottingham Forest to set up this game, and you won in the Europa League on Thursday. If you're Jurgen Klopp, how should he perceive this game? At which level should he approach? Is it that emotional level that says, this is my last meeting against Pep, I need to get a win? Or he should think about it as, it's 3 points, this could help us win a title without all the drama and, everything surrounding it?
I think he should just look at it as 3 points and forget about the drama. I think that's what he's trying to do by bigging Pep up and all those hype he's giving Pep. I think he's just trying to focus on what's ahead. And he's trying to put the pressure on Pep Guardiola because I feel Pep needs this game more than Klopp. Okay. Klopp is the one sitting on top of the table. He's the one playing at home. He's the one who knows that his team are well geared up for the task ahead. Pep will be feeling the pressure. That's why I think he didn't want to give too much away in the interview because his record at Anfield is not too great. Yeah. He doesn't get too many wins there. I think the last time he won there was in the COVID year. Yeah. So Klopp is just trying to push the pressure to Pep to see if it's a get to him. I think he's approaching the game knowing that it's a game that he needs 3 points in. Before we came on air for this game, we were speaking about how important this game will be. And I think this game will not decide the title, but it will be very, very pivotal in where the title will go because this game ends in a draw and Arsenal are looking at it like, okay, now we stand a chance. Liverpool win this game and Liverpool are comfortable knowing that, okay, we've beaten one of our contenders. Now we can look ahead and try and focus on Arsenal when they come their way. So clubs should just focus on the task and just look at it as 3 points and nothing else.
Sydney?
Yeah, I agree with Calvin to an extent, but I think the emotional aspect of the game, I mean, he spoke on the club side, but for Pep's side, I think he should embrace it. Because the reason I believe must keep on being beaten at Anfield is an emotional reason. Because if you look at the teams that they both field, look at the tactics, look at what they have both done. Man City they're streets over Liverpool. But whenever they come to Anfield, there's an emotional kind of reception they get that they can't just seem to.
Reminds me of a meeting they had a few years ago. I think it was after COVID. I think the first meeting after COVID when the crowds got back and Liverpool fans started singing "You Never Walk Alone" before kickoff. Yeah. And I remember Kevin De Bruyne so vividly just telling each and every Man City player to just calm down. Because I'm sure he could tell they were beginning to panic. And he was just telling them to calm down.
Anfield is intimidating.
It's intimidating. And for Pep, the greatest in his generation, someone say the greatest ever manager, and you're coming against somebody who has been your rival.
Do you think he'll think about his record there? Should he think about it?
I think he should. He should, because take away everything, take away all the accolades, take away everything. I mean, when it comes to such high-performing managers, the ego is part of it. You can't take it out. All of them have an ego, because without it, you can't have that drive to succeed for so long that you do. There's this dedication to perfection that they all have in different guises and forms. And for Pep, you can see it manifest in various ways. You can see that he's really a detailed person, really driven to perfection. and to have such a poor record at Anfield, which against a team which has been basically your top contender over the past 4 or 5 years, it's terrible on his part. If you look at what happens with Man United, Pep came to Citi, and I think he came with a mission to just destroy United, because every time they come up against United, you can just see them going a step up in their game. You can always see them reaching heights they didn't reach previously, and it's something they take it very seriously. You can say because of the internal rival. I don't think he has taken Liverpool as serious, especially at Anfield. And this is the last meeting he's going to face Klopp, and this a rival who has gotten one up on you almost every time, from Premier League to FA Cup to Champions League. And by Champions League, they're beating 3-0. Like, he has been beating you all the time. And this is the last time you have. So it's go just beyond mere tactics. He has to take it as it should be on his vision board. That I have to beat Klopp before he goes. And I think he would look at it like that. And I think he can't get the victory, because greatness comes in these fears and guises. And for him to beat Klopp, I mean, everybody has bought into this emotional roller coaster for Liverpool. We saw it in the Carabao Cup final.
And you have to give Liverpool their props, because they know how to find. They know how to use the emotion as energy.
And they know how to play for the occasion.
The occasion.
They do, and that's one thing. Pep is more. He sees things more methodical. He doesn't look at it in the emotional. But I think in this game, he has to sit his boys down. He has to play some songs for them to ginger them up. I mean, you can't play, never work alone, but play something for them just to ginger them up, because this is a game where they shouldn't look at they shouldn't take away the emotions. They should go in it with the emotions and look at it, battle on that side before they come on the field.
Okay, before we go on a break, I've been thinking about Manchester City's record this season in the big games. So they lost at Arsenal, drew at Chelsea, drew with Liverpool at home, drew with Spurs at home, drew with Chelsea at home. The only one they've won was the Manchester derby, home and away.
Which some don't even consider.
If you are Pep Guardiola and you are Liverpool, how do you think the two managers will perceive that run, that statistic, which is very alive and very tangible? Pep has not won. If you take away the 2 meetings with Manchester United, he hasn't won any of the big games.
It will be worrying for Pep. I know Pep will be thinking about it going into this game. And that's why in the presser, he didn't seem to want to give too much away. You could tell he's just trying to protect all his ideas. He doesn't want to say anything that will give anything he might be planning away. But he'll be thinking about it, because if you want to win titles, those are the games that ensure you win titles. Those big games. You go to an Anfield, you get a win there. You go to the Emirates, you get a win there. So not picking up wins in those games will be worrying for him. So I'm sure he's telling himself that if I do want to win the title this season, I have to start at Anfield. And I feel like it should run through the squad. If they want to win the title this season, they start at that game at Anfield.
Okay, all right. Citi, finally, before we go on a break, just in the same context of Pep's poor run, do you think, how should Man City react when Liverpool want to make it a chaotic game? Because you've seen that it is the chaos Man City do not like.
Yeah.
I remember when they played at Chelsea and they were leading, 4-3.
Yeah.
Chelsea just turned it into this basketball game, and what can they do because Liverpool would want the game to quickly come alive where it's flowing from left to right.
Yeah. So what they have to do, in my opinion, they have to go against the grain, against the way they play, because it's the way they play that gives Liverpool that chance to intimidate them with the atmosphere and everything, because they take a lot of risks, and when you're taking such risks in an atmosphere and this cauldron of noise and emotion and everything like that, it can go against you. Yeah. So for them, they have to, I think, take the foot off the pedal a bit when the game starts. Just get your bearings first, because you can see that Liverpool, you are playing right into their hands when you do that. You give down Nunes the chance to run from Accra to Gambaga when you are playing like that, because it's chaotic. That's what he wants. You give him the wide open space to do that. We saw last week, we saw Rashford, we saw the way the goal came about, Bruno running into space. So, and Liverpool will do that time and time again. So for this game only, for one time only, just at least alter it a bit. Because when they play like that at Etihad, I mean, it goes well for them, but at Anfield, you can see it never goes well. So alter it a bit, just sit back a bit, get your bearings right, and play the game slowly and smoothly, which is what Liverpool hates to happen to them. So do that, control the thing, control the narrative, and I'm sure they'll get a win if they're able to do that.
Okay, all right. Liverpool v Manchester City is the star game for the weekend. Like Kelvin said, I'm gonna agree with Kelvin. It's a big game, but it's not a decider.
I don't think this game will decide the title.
You think other games?
I think other games that will even be labeled as big games will be the games that will decide the title. But this game will be pivotal to the title.
All right. I mean, we'll be out of the studio. We'll be at +233 Just Bar and Grill on the Ring Road. So join us on Sunday for an amazing time. Villa Spurs and then Liverpool Manchester City. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll get into the debate. We'll be having a chat about Ghanaian players and what they've been doing this season in the Premier League. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwao. My guests, Sydney Antonio and Kelvin Kai. We've been going through 3 of the many games that will be played. Of course, the high point is Liverpool v Man City happening on Sunday. All right, let's get into the next part of the show. Let's get into the debate. Welcome to the debate on the Premier League preview show. Today we're asking a very interesting question. Have Ghanaian players delivered so far in the Premier League? Ghanaian players in the Premier League, have they delivered so far? We have a good number of them. Schlopp, Jordan Ayew, Mo Kudus, and Antoine Semenyo.
Tariq Lamptey.
Tariq Lamptey, so that's about 5.
But Tariq hasn't been fit for enough.
He played the Europa League. I saw him.
Yeah, he did.
But Bryson didn't. Roma
was an absolute beat down. But how have they fared, guys? What have you made of their performance?
I think they've done well. They've been good. If you take Mo Kudus' form, Kudus has been in great form for West Ham for his first season. I think he's been very impressive. Antoine Semenyo hasn't done too bad himself. He's been getting some goals and some assists in there. And Jordan too is having quite a season for himself so far. It's Schlopp and Tariq that have been a bit shaky. I think fitness have worried them a bit. But I think on an overall, the Ghanaian players in the Premier League are doing quite well. Especially Mo Kudus. For someone who's playing in his first season at a club like West Ham, I think he's done well, settling and finding his feet and finding his place in the team.
Okay. Sydney?
I don't think they have done well. Because yes, some standout. Obviously, Mo Kudus lighting the torch. I mean, the torchbearer for the Ghanaian players in the league. But if you look at years past, I mean, the influx of Ghanaian or let's say African players in the English Premier, that's what has brought the attention for more Ghanaians to even invest in the league and everything. And over the years, the performances have been very strong, very, very strong. And go back to the days of ACN and I mean, Baby Jets has lifted the place up. But over the past couple of years, and this year in particular, I mean, Kudus has done well. Kudus has done very well. Coming into the league his first year, he has been a very good ambassador for Ghanaian football there. But you take him and Semenyo, those 2 guys, yes. But the rest of them, I don't know what's happening. I mean, Jordan has been Jordan. I think that's a good enough adjective. Thomas Partey, we didn't even mention his name.
Yes,
because Partey has barely. Well, I think the other guys, it's fitness that has really. Even Semenyo himself has struggled with fitness.
So Tariq, Jeffrey Schlupp, and Thomas Partey, 3 players who have been affected by injury.
So I think for them, it's largely due to fitness. I think Partey was one of Arsenal's better players when he was fit and he was on his feet. So I think that's a bit too harsh on them. But for those who have been fit, I think they've accounted for themselves well enough.
But let's ask yourself, if Partey were to be fit, I mean, he's fit now. Will he be able to fit him? Will he be able to muscle his way back in this Arsenal team? And you would say no, because Jorginho is doing a very good job. They are winning, or you don't change your winning formula. So, and last season that was unthinkable for Partey to not be playing. I mean, for Jorginho to be playing ahead of Partey would have been unthinkable last season. But yeah, he has had his own issues, his own injury issues and stuff. So, if you look at it on the whole, I mean, Kudus perfect. Semenyo, I've also been very, very, very happy to see his progress this season. Although I think when we played the AFCON, we didn't see him jump to the fore too much. But in my opinion, he was misapplied. He wasn't played in the way he's supposed to be played because you can see the talent there. You can see his attributes. He's very quick on the turn. He's very powerful. He's a strong runner. And as a coach, you have to know where to play him. And I think that's what Andoni Raiola is doing very well for him at Bournemouth, playing him at the right place. Over the past couple of weeks, he has popped up a very important goal. So I like that over there. But the rest of them, my biggest disappointment being Tariq Lamptey. I mean, obviously injury issues, but Tariq Lamptey, when he first got to Brighton, I mean, what a player. I mean, he was so energetic, like a little dynamite, like up and down, providing assists and stuff. He's fallen off the way a bit. So we just hope that they're able to find their feet once again and get the right medicine to heal their ailments.
and in Partey's defense, if Partey is fit and Jorginho is fit, I think if they are all fit and informed, I think Partey will be ahead in the pecking order.
Okay, so for you guys, I mean, as we wrap it up, what are your expectations for all these guys with 10 games left? Right? For those who you judge on numbers, what would you expect from them in the next 10 games? For those who you judge based on output, maybe the eye test, as some people call it, and just sheer performances, what would you expect from them in the next 10 games, knowing that some may be playing for their careers or playing for their futures in England?
Okay, so for Kudus is a potential player of the season for West Ham.
Okay.
I mean, he does have some challenges there. Bowen having a very good season.
Bowen, yeah.
You have Paqueta also having a very good season. But I think Kudus is one of the names in there. So from now to the end of the season, I will look at him getting minimum 10 goals and assists, 10 goal contributions.
Between now and then,
yeah, because we have about 11 games to go. And 11 games, Kudus, when he got acclimatized, I mean, he was scoring every game. So from now to the end of the season, and over the past couple of games, he has not been scoring, but he has been providing assists. So for him to get, let's say, 5 goals, 5 assists from now, I mean, it's not a stretch because look at the talent he has and look at the way he has fit himself and he's able to play left, right, center, strike. So, I mean, it's something that he can do and I think it's a attainable target for him. And I think if he does do that, his name will be prominent amongst one of the players. And looking at the other guys, I think for the injury guys, their staying fit will be good enough. For Lamptey, staying fit will be good enough. Partey, staying fit because this is a season potentially Arsenal can win the league, and you wouldn't want to miss out on. I mean, you can get a medal, but if you don't participate, I mean, it's a favorite victory.
You don't feel fulfilled.
Yeah, so just keep fit and for Jordan, just keep on being Jordan. That's what I can say.
For Kudus, I would love to see Kudus at another club. I don't want him to stay at West Ham too long.
I think after just a season.
Yeah, I think his talents are for the big stage. So I would like to see him get around the goal contributions Citi is talking about. So I think 5 goals, 5 assists.
So for you, the next 10 games should be an audition
because and with Paqueta returning from injury, that allows Kudus to move back to that position on the right where he was finding a lot of goals when he was playing. Paqueta was just serving him up with those balls. So Kudus should do the best he can to get goals on the board, and I feel like that will make him hot on the markets for teams to come and pick off. And we know West Ham and how they act like when people come to their doors. I would like to see Kudus at maybe a Manchester United, a Bayern Munich, a Barcelona, a Real Madrid, an Inter.
Lofty ambitions.
I think his talents are made for the big stage. So if he can get some of those goals on the board, I think he'll be a hot topic for teams in the summer.
We'll see how it plays out for the Ghanaian players. We wish them well in the last 10 games of the season. Quickly, let's have a look at the fixtures once again before we head out. There you have the games. Guys, you want to give us predictions quickly?
For the Liverpool Man City. Honestly, I want to go for Liverpool, but I just have a sneaky feeling. I mean, last time I had a sneaky feeling for Arsenal, and it was horrible. So I don't know if I should follow my feeling this time around, but I think I'll go for a score draw. I think it's going to be an interesting game.
I'll look at the Arsenal-Brentford game. I think Arsenal should win that game comfortably. Then United-Everton. I think a slender win for United. I'm seeing a 2-1.
2-1. Yeah, that's very Man United-like.
United like to labor through their wins. So I'm seeing something.
So you don't want to give us a United prediction?
United. Honestly, I feel like it's going to end a draw. I don't think United have the creativity to break down Everton right now, looking at both teams. And so I think a 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll see how all of these results will play out. The games are live on Citi 97.3 FM. Catch the live commentary. And of course, join us this weekend for our road show as we go to +233 Jazz Bar and Grill to give you Aston Villa versus Spurs and Liverpool versus Manchester City, the final club versus Pep league meeting in a very, very long time to come. My name is Nathan Kwao. Many thanks for watching. My colleagues, Kelvin Kine and Sydney Antonio, they joined me today. We'll see you next Friday, hopefully with a lot more exciting stuff to talk about in terms of the Premier League. We'll catch you then and enjoy your weekend.